This is for the snow flap. This stuff is great because it's waterproof. Basically, I eyeballed it, and that's how I got the measurements. Goodbye, see you later. And then you basically have a snow flap. I had to buy this in order to get that sled working, and it's $400 Canadian. $400, like $10 off, so like $3.90. So basically, I took every electrical component out, put it inside my sled, and well, I guess I didn't need to take the servo out. Left everything else on it. The shocks still great, and it's basically like a push around toy now. I guess I can use it when all the snow melts. Anyways, just ignore the colors. Everything is basically stock. I guess I'll use this snow flap, which is a lot better. This thing is like plastic. It can crack. Watch it crack. I bet it will. And this one, no different. Everything is stock. To get this on, I basically just eyeball it. That's the truth. I just eyeball it. So yeah, let's get it on. So I'm going to put the new one I quickly showed you guys on. This, I basically cut out the tail light and put a piece of tape there and sharpied it. Like, some things are like just dumb. Like, now for the electrical components. Really quick, I want to say from this point and that way, it's all stock. The brake light was just optional. Now, the only thing I actually used was the gear case. That's the only thing I used. Everything else, like all of this, suspension, everything, I tore off. Also the shocks, I guess, I used those. If you're gonna do this, don't go the cheap way. You're gonna waste money. I ended up wasting $100 trying to go the cheap way, and I ended up wasting that transmitter and receiver, ESC. I fried it. Waste of time. If you're gonna do it, just buy a car, take all the electrical components out of it, because they're all synced anyways, and there's no reason in trying to make this go with this and everything else. Take it from me, who has made that mistake, and it sucks. Honestly, don't do it. Basically, all of the front is 3D printed. I don't have a 3D printer myself, I'm gonna say that right away. I actually 3D printed them at school in my electrical class. I keep moving. I don't know why I keep moving. So I'm just gonna say I don't have a 3D printer, and I just do it at school. And my track, I'm trying to print a track from other people, while this guy who I printed those from is trying to work on a track design. I never knew about this site. It's called Thingiverse, and my teacher actually said, hey, you should see if there's any RC parts on there, RC snowmobile parts. I didn't think that there was going to be any at the time, but when I did, I found pretty cool parts. And that's why I have this in Michael on my long track, if I end up making one. If you're taking apart from a car like me, you basically have this ESC electric speed controller, receiver that connects the remote to the sled, and then the motor, actual brushless motor, and then the servo. So that's basically the 4 main components that I use. I'm gonna go on and tell you that nothing is special about the sled. The motor wasn't the right diameter, so I just basically taped it around it until it was. Some people would call it dumb, and I'd call it dumb too, but nothing here is really like secure. It's all hot glue. You just connect ESC to the motor. This is where the battery connects. I just put a piece of Velcro, and then I put a piece of Velcro on the battery so it Velcros here and it doesn't move. So the motor is connected to the ESC. Check. ESC and servo are connected to the receiver, which I operate from the remote. Check. I had to cut a little bit of the sides and a little bit of this to make space for the 3D printed part down there, and then basically a metal geared little servo. Basically, hot glue is my friend in this build, so basically hot glued it in place. Put this, I think it's called a, I don't even know what it's called. And then I custom made my own steering rods. This is basically the part you have to cut, this little box thing. But you basically have to take every single electrical component out. If you were gonna do this build, you'd have to commit. I mean, see how I cut out this square box? Yep. And basically hot glued this thing to the middle. Connect that. I'll show you a quick clip of it in action, I guess. If you went to Thingiverse and you didn't print out your own front suspension, you basically have to remove these 4 screws, take this whole entire suspension thing out, which would rip everything out. And then you could put your bulkhead in, which is why you had to cut space for this. That's why you have to cut space for it to come a little further downwards. And those are my own little simple steering rods. They are made out of galvanized wire that I bought from Dollarama. If you want to know how I did my logos, I printed them out in color, like paper, and then I put tape on them to coat them. Then I cut them out like 2 times after I taped them, and then I put them on this, but before that I used acrylic paint, which is probably stupid, but I used acrylic paint. And then after the acrylic paint was done, I put my logos on, and then I put clear nail polish, and I don't know, it'd probably be easier with spray paint, but I used so much and bought so much clear nail polish, like you can't even believe. It looks so shiny. After a while I do have to redo it too, so. Guess what it's made out of? Well, you guessed it, paper. I taped it, so it's waterproof, basically, so I can it's flimsy, and then I put, like, once again, hot glue is my friend. Some stuff on here is just simple, like, things anyone can do. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's it. So, if you liked it, give me a thumbs up on this video, please. And if you want me to do more things, explain more things, comment down below. Please comment on this video. And I will try to do it for you guys. I actually filmed this earlier that day. I'm just showing you guys the suspension and the track movement while there was still daylight out. Last weekend I had plans to make more videos, but my Wi-Fi went out because it was all, the bill was overpriced, so I couldn't, and then plans changed and I couldn't, so that's why I haven't uploaded it now. If I missed anything, comment down below and I'll try.